Anytime, any day. Why not right now? Stop looking up to your boss and start being your own boss. Don't work for paychecks. Work for dreams with no regrets. This is Cracking the Entrepreneur Code. If you have the passion, we'll create the blueprint. Now, your host. You know him from his 7 tips to build the business you always wanted, and now you're about to hear a lot more. Jack H.M. Wong.
Welcome to the other episode of Cracking the Entrepreneur Code podcast. I'm your host, Jack Wong. Okay, in this particular episode, I would like to continue the previous discussion of this word passion. Now, the word passion is a very dangerous word because many times my experience says that if someone cannot start a business, the reason most likely is because this person hasn't found his passion. And you notice what I've just said, the person hasn't found the passion. Now, if you recall my previous episode, I talk about passion is something that is within us. In other words, it's because of our unconscious, because we are unconsciously aware, that's why we have been very much looking for passion. So once we have gone through a process that allows us to be able to uncover the passion within us, you know what? That becomes a magic. You can actually start your business without thinking hard what exactly this passion that you have been looking for. So in this episode, I'm going to give to you a gift. The gift is what I would call the ultimate passion discovery formula. So are you ready for this? Okay, you may want to jot down some notes or you may want to replay this episode, whichever works for you. Okay, so it is consisting of 4 parts. How many parts? 4 parts. So the first part of this formula is actually not passion. That's the reason why we were working backwards. We reverse engineer this method. So the very first one is commitment. Okay, so the first component of this formula is commitment. So let me explain what it is. Commitment means that your mental state is ready to doing something long term. Your physical state is going to be doing this for long term. So you can see there is alignment between your physical state and your mental state. And of course, emotionally speaking, you will also want to do something. Because at the end of the day, when we talk about I'm committed to doing something, I'm having alignment mentally, physically, and emotionally. So let's say I'm very much indeed looking at how to manage my weight. So how many of you actually have this kind of emotion? I really want to look good in front of the mirror. I really want to receive feedback. How come your body is so fit? Okay, so now you have decided, you have committed to yourself to managing your weight. So you have got alignment of your body, your mind, and your soul. Everything is ready. So if you have commitment, then that's the first step. Now let's move on to the second step. So the second step is what I would call the word confidence. What's the word again? Confidence. So let me explain what it means. Confidence means simply as you are doing this thing again and again and again, your confidence level will be built up. So imagine you have not done something before. So obviously, because of the fear, you may not have that kind of confidence level as you might imagine you will have. However, it's just like when you were then a baby learning how to walk. The first few steps, you may have fallen, but you pick up yourself and you continue walking. Your confidence level goes up and eventually, guess what? You are able to walk. So in this journey of uncovering your passion, you're going to be doing the same thing, meaning that if you are committed to doing something, the next thing obviously is to take action. And when you take action, the first few steps may not give you the result you want, but what must you do? You keep on moving and moving and moving, and you increase your confidence level that allows you to move further and further and further. Okay, so the third component is the level of competency. So we have the first step, commitment, when you have committed to doing something. And second step is to increase your confidence level. And the third step is now competence. So I always said in my other podcast shows or other interviews, I said that you can always research some articles about the 4 levels of competency. And I'm not going to explain here because the 4 levels of competencies, as some of you might have read elsewhere, it is starting from the unconscious incompetence, followed by consciously incompetent. Then you reach the stage of consciously competent and finally unconscious competence. So that is the 4 levels. You feel free to Google and search and understand what the heck it is. But now what I want to describe is in this formula, you keep on doing this again and you raise your confidence level and you reach to a stage where you know what, you don't really consciously aware of doing it. And you reach the stage is like you brush your teeth every day. If I were to ask you, what are the 10 steps involved in brushing your teeth? And let's say, what are your 10 steps for you to tie your shoelace? Do you find it very difficult to explain these 10 steps? Because you have reached the stage of unconsciously competent. So when you become unconsciously competent in doing something, and you will not think so much about doing it. You just keep on doing it, and eventually the last step of this formula becomes passion. So you see that the long way of moving from commitment to the final result, passion, commitment leads to passion. This is what my coach Alex Mandosian has taught me. However, people still find it hard to understand why commitment leads to passion. So through my research further, I discovered that, there are actually 2 more steps in between. Let me repeat. Commitment leads to confidence. Confidence leads to competence. And competence leads to passion. Commitment, confidence, competence, and passion. Is that good or great? So the whole idea is not for us to discover our passion by asking people around. I can't start any business until I found my passion. So I need to find my passion before I start my business. Perhaps you have been doing something which is so good, so great, and you don't even know that is your passion. I always relate with viewers or listeners in the podcast show about my experience in doing trading, for example. Now, I didn't realize I have the passion of doing trading until much later stage. So the question is, first of all, I've made a commitment to myself that I need to be aware of how to participate in the financial market, whether it's up, down, or it is in range-bound mode. So I didn't realize that's the passion. However, when I make the commitment of learning this craft, I keep on doing it for years, and I didn't realize that, I reached the stage of being confident. In other words, like if you have been trading before, you may come across your situation where you started off with a demo account or paper trading environment before you move on to the real trading journey. And as you continue doing your trading in real term, you are going to increase your size, increase your contract position, and that's because you have reached the stage of competence. So you see, from using my trading example, I committed to doing something called trading. I increased my confidence level, I raised my competency, and finally, you know what? I discovered that, oh my God, this is actually my passion. How do I know? Well, every single day, for me to wake up, the very first question that I will ask myself is, because I live in Singapore, so obviously the US market will have been closed by the time I wake up. So this is my question. The question is, how did the Dow Jones Industrial Average do last night? So you see, that's the question I ask myself. And I will spend a fair bit of time each day doing market analysis and research. Whether it is a working day, whether it is a training day, I would devote some time to do that. And you know what? At the end of the day, I didn't realize until a much later stage that trading is actually my passion. And that's how I discover through this formula, commitment, confidence, competence, and passion. That's how I discover trading is actually one of my passions. So the next question is, can you have more than one passion? Well, obviously the answer is possible. Like myself, taxation is my passion, and trading is also my passion. So it is possible for you to have more than one passion. I hope that you enjoyed this formula that I'm gifting it to you, and hope that you realize that you can also uncover your passion using this formula. If you have any questions, comment, let me know. If you believe that your loved one will benefit from this formula, please share this episode with them. And remember, ask them to subscribe my podcast, Cracking the Entrepreneur Code. Okay, so here we go. I look forward to having you another time in another episode till we next meet. Stay relentless and use this formula to uncover your passion. Jack Wong here. I'm signing off now, and bye.
To continue cracking the Entrepreneur Code, subscribe for more episodes and download the Amazon bestseller, Cracking the Entrepreneur Code, 7 Tips to Build the Business You Always Wanted at crackingentrepreneur.com. Learn more about author and host Jack H.M. Wong and book your 30-minute discovery session to overcome any professional challenge at jackhmwong.com/apply.